Workers' Party Chief Pritam Singh will be given parliamentary privileges and additional resourcing under his new role as leader of the opposition. They include longer speaking duration for speeches, equivalent to that of political office holders, as well as the right to question ministers on policies and bills first. Brendan Tandoto with more.
As leader of the opposition, Workers' Party Chief Pritam Singh has the right to ask the lead question to ministers on policies, bills and motions. He also has more time for his speeches, the same amount that's given to political office holders. According to the standing orders of Parliament, ministers and parliamentary secretaries are entitled to speak for up to 40 minutes. MPs are given 20 minutes to speak in response to questions raised and 10 minutes to address a committee of the whole of Parliament. Mr. Singh can also access confidential information by the government on select matters of national security and external relations. In terms of additional resources, he will receive an annual allowance of $385,000, double the amount of an elected MP. As for staff support, a secretary will be provided to support him with parliamentary businesses on the administrative front. He'll also get allowances to hire up to 3 additional legislative assistants. This is on top of the allowances all MPs receive for 1 legislative assistant and 1 secretarial assistant. Mr. Singh will have an office and the use of a meeting room in the Parliament House. The resources and privileges were listed in a statement by the Office of the Speaker of Parliament and Office of the Leader of the House. It also listed down his duties that came along with them. They include leading the opposition in presenting alternative views in parliamentary debates on policies, bills and motions, as well as the scrutiny of the government's positions and actions in Parliament. Mr. Singh will be consulted on the appointment of opposition members to select committees. The WP chief may also be required to attend official state functions and take part in visits and meetings alongside members of the government and the public service. The statement also said, as with any new political appointment, the role of the leader of the opposition will evolve as Singapore's political system develops. It added that the country's legislatures never formally had this position even in the 1950s and early 1960s, when there were substantial numbers of opposition legislative assemblymen. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong said on Facebook that he hopes to see more constructive debates and serious policy alternatives from the opposition so that voters can better understand issues. Policies and plans can also be improved with better outcomes for all Singaporeans. Mr. Singh said he will speak in greater detail about his party's approach in Parliament over the next term and what the public can expect during next month's debate on the President's address to Parliament. In light of the staff and resources he will have to support the opposition's efforts in Parliament, Mr. Singh added that he will have discussions with Progress Singapore Party's non-constituency members of Parliament and extend his support.